In 1928, Edna St. Vincent Millay, a famous lyrical poet, wrote a poem entitled Dirge Without Music. On the heels of a multi-year illness, she crafted the following. I am not resigned to the shutting away of loving hearts in the hard ground. So it is and so it will be, for so it has been, time out of mind. Into the darkness they go, crowned with lilies. I know, but I do not approve, and I am not resigned. Today I say the same. In the midst of a world shocked by a global pandemic, I do not approve. I am not resigned. I am not resigned to the deaths, thousands of lives lost, lights extinguished. I am not resigned to the fear, afraid of others, afraid of their actions, afraid for our families and for ourselves. I am not resigned to the unattainable standards set, unable to succeed at work while balancing life at home, and feeling as if we are incapable of succeeding there as well. I am not resigned to the absences, people we love, who we long to be with, to hug, to laugh with, to comfort, in the face of our own mortality, losing time with them. I am not resigned to the endless days, empty and unstructured time looming before us, one day after another. I am not resigned to the dehumanization of others. Each person matters. Each life matters, whether old or young, black or white or brown. I am not resigned to the uncertainty, the endless questions. What is best for me? What is best for my family? Can I go to the store? Can I sit at a restaurant? And if so, outside or inside? Should my kids be in school? Questions with no clear answers, without a black or white, right or wrong response. I am not resigned, and I do not approve. And I know I am not alone in feeling this way. Where does this hurt go? This anger, this loss, this fear, this exhaustion, this boredom. We cannot just push it down, ignoring it, hoping it will go away, for it will not, it cannot. It only festers and boils within. Instead, I believe we must acknowledge it, all of it, saying out loud our list of grievances. In the next few moments, I invite you to do just that with me. We will read a list of the emotions that we have experienced and continue to experience as we live through this pandemic. We will use the royal we, as we do throughout our commemoration of the High Holy Days, leaving no person alone with their feelings. We share our feelings. Some are personal, some relate to our neighbors more than to us. But together, we take ownership of this litany, our alphabet of emotions, an illustration of our lives during the COVID epidemic. We are afraid. We are baffled. We are cautious. We are distanced from others. We are engaging in new ways. We are fatigued. We are generous. We feel helpless. We feel ignored. We feel jostled between competing responsibilities. We feel kinships with those we may never have anticipated. We are lonely. We are masked. We are in need. We are overwhelmed. We feel paranoid. We are quiet. We are reflecting. We are screaming at the top of our lungs. We are trying our best. We are uncertain. We are visiting at a distance of 6 feet. We feel as we are wasting our time here on earth. We are zooming, going over bumps. We are yearning for a sense of normalcy. We are zooming. I pause and invite you to add any unspoken emotions that you carry with you today, that you have carried with you throughout these last few months. We hold on to these ups and downs, these struggles and triumphs, these emotions that wash over us. They are a part of this moment. They are essential markers of this time. And yet we are not abandoned, emoting and distressed, for our tradition guides us on another path. There is a fascinating passage that occurs in our Torah directly after God shares the commandments with the people. God finishes up the grand announcement and remarks in what seems an offhanded way, "You have stayed long enough at this mountain." Interesting, it is this very statement that Moses chooses to emphasize in the retelling in the book of Deuteronomy. Of all the choices that Moses could have made, why did he choose to include this quote? And why did God say it in the first place? We could imagine Moses referring to a moment where God reminded the people to listen up, to pay attention. But that is not what Moses chooses in this passage. So we come back to our question. Why does Moses reference God's quote of, "You have stayed long enough"? That question seems to warrant another. To what is God referring at this moment? God speaks of Mount Sinai in Revelation. At the end of Revelation, once the people have received the commandments, God tells them it is time to move on. They have listened, they have been commanded, now they must advance to something else. In short, the words have been spoken. The people have heard enough, go forward. And yet, God is not saying, of course, forget what you have listened to here. Instead, God is saying, the path forward is yours. I have provided what I can. Now it is up to you to decide what to bring along and what to leave behind. The declaration may come from God, but the decision of what to carry forward is solely the people's. What do they hold on to, and what do they let go of? The same question can be asked of us right now as we wander this desert. What do we hold on to, and what do we let go of? Do we carry forward the sadness felt by us, felt by our neighbors, felt by individuals all over the world, knowing that maybe our appreciation of joy in the future will be that much stronger, having experienced this low point, realizing the sweet in our lives feels all the sweeter? Do we grasp onto the uncertainty and with trepidation allow ourselves for once to understand that we are not in control of everything, instead letting go maybe just a little? Do we cling to the moments of selflessness and compassion? Individuals willing to risk their own lives, or a simple gesture of checking in on one another, or a worker choosing to show up each day for her job so others can benefit. These moments guiding us to live our lives with more empathy and generosity. Do we embrace some boredom, understanding for once that busyness may lead to distraction, but not fulfillment? The answers may vary. The answers should vary from one of us to another. And that is what makes them remarkable as well. A story is told about a woman who one day finds herself lost and wandering in the desert. She is quite thirsty and getting more so by the moment. She feels her stomach grumble and her body aches for sleep. She looks to the left and to the right, in front of her and back, and all she sees is sand. So she does the only thing she can do at that moment. She continues to walk, praying she will find a destination. Slowly, she begins to notice something just ahead of her. She moves faster and faster, seeing some water and hoping it is not just a mirage. And then she arrives at the most beautiful oasis she has ever seen. A tree with long branches for shade hangs over a small but beautiful pond. The woman sits beneath the tree, lavishing in the shade, drinking of the water, and eating the fruits of the tree. She sits there for a while, sleeps a little, and realizes eventually she must move on, must find her way out of the desert. So she gathers a few branches if she needs to make a fire, collects some extra fruit, and fills an empty bottle with water. She takes a few steps, gazing out at the long way ahead, and realizes that she longs to take more from this place, this rejuvenating sanctuary. From one of the fruits she has eaten, she gathers seeds. Seeds she decides to spread when she arrives finally at her destination, when she has made it out of the desert. There, trees will grow and nourish her and others for years to come. A token that she will carry with her, a reminder of the good, helping her get through the most difficult time to a better road ahead. We find ourselves this year on this holy day walking through our own desert, unsure of the path we travel, unable to see the end in sight. We look to the left, we look to the right, we look in front and in back of us, and it feels as if endless sand stretches before us as well. The journey of a pandemic seems long and arduous, painful and overwhelming, an endless maze before us. And we may wonder, where is our oasis? In her wanderings, the woman in the desert found sustenance and protection and relief, her oasis. Maybe ours is not what we are expecting at all. Maybe our break in the desert, our shelter from the hot rays of the sun, is this moment, these days of awe, this opportunity to reflect and consider what is most important to us, what matters, truly matters in our lives. Not in spite of the fear, in spite of the death, the anger, the uncertainty, but because of it. As the woman in the desert stepped back into the scorching sunlight, she brought seeds along with her to plant so they could grow and sustain her and others. Let our reflections during these 10 days of awe, these nuggets of wisdom we find for ourselves, uncovering now, be our seeds. Seeds of joy from the pain we carry, seeds of compassion from the kindness we witness, seeds of ceding control, some level of letting go, seeds of finding fulfillment, not in constant motion, but in sitting still and understanding what matters most in our lives. We do not know what will happen next. We cannot know when this pandemic will end. But if we leave it, not taking the opportunity to reflect and consider, to learn and grow from our anger, from our pain, from our loss, from our explorations, where will that leave us? We will be left with so much more emptiness than we may feel that we have now. And so I encourage you in the days ahead, find those seeds within our tradition. Find those seeds within one another. Learn and grow from these past 6 months and carry them forward with you. As we go back into the sunlight, as we go back into the desert, as we continue on this journey that sometimes feels as if there is no end. Let the seeds be seeds of hope. Let the seeds be seeds of sustenance. Let the seeds be seeds of comfort. Shana Tova, a happy and a healthy new year.